Hey guys, Rafferty Pendry here. In this video, I'm talking about how do you set and achieve goals as an employee. Take a look. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up for me and feel free to subscribe to my channel for future content like this. So first off, there's a misconception that I've observed with a lot of people who are an employee, maybe they're not an executive, not an owner, that they think that the goal setting only happens at an owner level or at a senior executive level. And that's just not true. You as an employee can and should set goals yourself for what you're trying to accomplish. What is your growth that you'd like to have? It puts you in a driver's seat to say, okay, what do I need to be doing to actually accomplish that growth, to move up in position, to contribute more, to increase my income, etc., etc. So let's talk about goals for a second. What are goals and how do you actually figure out what is your goal? For me, it was a very simple question. What am I trying to do? I asked that question as it relates to business, in my relationship with my wife. We name our goals. What are we trying to do? That's the simplicity of the question. And people can get very complicated about it. Like, well, it needs to be short. It needs to be catchy. It needs to rhyme. It needs to do this. It needs to do that. No, it doesn't need to do any of those things. It should answer the question, what am I trying to do? And when you can answer the question, what am I trying to do? Now you can start to see what are the things you're actually doing and does that align up with what am I trying to do? So why is it important as an employee to set a goal yourself? In a business, in an organization, if you don't know, if you're not focused on what your goals are and what are the goals of the organization, you don't necessarily know how they can align. How do they match up? But if you actually take the time to name your own goal and then you listen when the owners and executives are communicating to you about the overall goals, you can start to see how do your goals line up, or how can you back up the company's goal in order to accomplish your goal. See, you actually can be in the driver's seat on this. You're not just the guy who's going to get told what to do and then it either works out or it doesn't, and either you had luck or you didn't. You need to take the responsibility on yourself. You need to put that on your shoulders and say, you know what, I'm going to make this happen, but it starts with naming what it is that you're trying to do. So how to set goals. One of the things that I would do is set goals that are actually definable and actually accomplishable. What I mean by that is sometimes we can have these vague concepts that are so vague that how do you know when you've really executed it? So make sure your goals are something that you can actually see, oh, I accomplished that, or I am accomplishing it. I'm on the way to that, right? So make sure it's something that you actually know. It's specific enough. It can be very big, it can be very broad, but it needs to be specific enough that you can actually accomplish it. A goal that you can't actually accomplish is useless. Then the other piece you're going to do is align your goals, see how your goals fit or align within the organization, or how if you help the organization accomplish one of its goals, does that accomplish one of your goals? You'd be amazed when you take the time to sit there and write this stuff down and listen and look how you can actually create alignment in a situation that you thought maybe there isn't alignment. So once you do that, just make sure you write these things down. Don't just put it in your head, write them down, and then now hold yourself accountable to it. I'd review it on a regular basis and say, did I make progress towards this goal? Did I actually do something that helped me accomplish this goal in this period of time? And the frequency you want to look at it, that's going to be up to you. I would do a long enough period of time that you give yourself enough time to actually make progress, but a short enough time that you're not saying, well, once a year I'm going to review my goals. I just think that's too long. So now that you're tracking this progress, you're tracking this, now you start to actually acknowledge yourself for your successes and see what things you need to change on the negatives. What did you not accomplish? What are you not making progress on? Good, let's change something about it. It doesn't need to be radical, crazy change, but let's change something about it so we can start moving in the right direction. One of the final little pieces I wanted to go over here is now that you've actually been naming these goals, actually spend a moment to sit there and think, okay, you know what? How would life be if I did actually accomplish that? And if you actually get that feeling, that sense, you know, wow, that would be awesome. Good. Now, daydreaming over. Start to work on it. You start to actually focus on doing it. But now you've actually put yourself in the shoes of, okay, you know what? I got this. I can do that. And I know why I want to do this thing. And it's strong enough to get me through the stops and barriers. It's not all going to line up. It never does. It's not going to just fall into place and be automatically magical. Sometimes it does. Sometimes we decide something and then boom, it happens. And we're like, whoa, that's awesome. But we can't rely on that for everything. The way that I do it, I name the goal. If the thing happens to pop up, which does every once in a while, then fantastic. And if it doesn't, then I'm actually going to put in some work. I'm going to make it happen anyways. So what I encourage you to do, spend a moment, spend a little bit of time, pause the video, stop watching anything on social media, and just go write down a list of your goals. Write down, what am I trying to do? Answer that question for yourself. There is no right or wrong answer for it. There isn't, this is a good goal, this is a bad goal. Whatever your goals are your goals. Spend a moment, write them down, start to look at how can I actually start taking action on this to move myself in the right direction. If this video helps out, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and take a look for further content like this.